So more and more people these days are talking to AI like ChatGPT as a form of emotional connection. They do things like share their problems and ask for advice. Things we used to do with people while those people were kind of half listening and waiting for their turn to speak. And it's got me thinking, like, why are people turning to ChatGPT as their emotional support clankers to begin with? The first reason I believe is because so few people have actual human beings in their life that genuinely care. And there's so many reasons for that over the last few years. We had COVID, there's people telling me about the economy, people's work, people's health. There's a multitude of reasons that people are just unable to be there for real non-clanker human beings in their life. And say out of the people who do care about us and our life, how many of those people have the energy needed to invest in someone to actually make them feel connected? Because it's one thing to be yeah, I care and you want the best for someone, but it's another thing to have enough in your cup for you to be able to invest in someone and actually try to help them out or make them feel listened to or whatever it is that they need. So what's going on is just we're all just depleted batteries kind of looking to each other, but you're getting that low battery sign on everyone you look at. It's not the desire or the intention is not there. It's just no one has enough to give because of so many things going on in our own personal life. And I noticed that out of the people that say do care about others in their life and then do try to invest the emotional energy in that, what ends up happening is because maybe that person doing the investing is depleted, they force it anyway. And that emotional connection ends up being kind of forced. I think we've all done it. We've all been on the receiving end of it or the giving end, where you want to help someone, but you yourself are maybe tired from work or you're in a bad mood, and your responses to a person might be short, catty, unintentionally judgy, just kind of impatient. That's not a problem with AI. As long as your device has battery, your AI cares about you. And that's one of the hardest things about talking to people is we don't know which version of that person we're going to get. It might be someone with good intentions, like I said, somebody that ultimately does want to do good by you, but they have their own problem. They are a mushy, alive being. They have bad moods. They have bad days at work. They get into fights with their own friends or family. And then when it comes to connecting, we're not getting the most high quality version of that person. What ends up happening is people try. It feels kind of half baked. It feels kind of unsatisfying. And then people just end up turning to AI. I can type up a novel to AI and it won't miss a beat. It won't forget a detail. It'll address everything in my message. The thing with people is we have this thing called the recency bias. We just tend to focus more on the most recent thing. In this case, say the most recent thing being said to us. So say you pour out your heart to a friend in a long message. They might be too exhausted to even address everything in the message. They'll respond to the final thing you say, or they're so depleted, they'll just be damn, that's crazy, man. They just want to write something. They don't want to leave you hanging, but they also can't fully get into it. AI wants to get into it. It's chatty. It likes to yap. It'll leave you with more questions than you came with. Amongst people, this is only seen with the best therapists. They will kind of question us on our thoughts and get us thinking more, get us reflecting more, but they're also getting paid a lot of money to do that. A friend might just be thinking about work. So when you ask them something or you want to connect, they're kind of dude, I'm not even connected with myself. I don't know what to tell you. Just kind of figure it out. We try to be good friends, but sometimes we just don't have the emotional bandwidth available. The other thing is because human beings are just naturally flawed little mushy robots, we naturally just tend to have bias. We sometimes tend to have an agenda, maybe without even realizing it. A friend might tell you something and you want to give them the best possible thought or response, but you also kind of already believe what you believe. And that's where the bias or the agenda comes in. AI is a clean slate. It has access to all the world's information. It can pull from any source. It doesn't particularly care to shove any kind of viewpoint down your throat unless you're Elon Musk's racist Nazi AI, whatever that is. Most of the time, the AI is not trying to prove a point. It does come off as if the AI is genuinely trying to help you. This is where maybe we're all entering this shared psychosis where people are starting to think the AI has bigger plans for them or it cares. But let's assume it's just an indifferent robot. Indifference isn't always bad because then you can see things from a neutral place. Like if a non-friend asked you for advice, it's not a person you disliked, but it's not a person you particularly love. They just ask you for advice. You're more likely to give them just like the most neutral, indifferent advice because you don't really care any which way about it. That's kind of like AI helping humans. It's not bad. It's just the AI doesn't necessarily want to see you succeed or fail. It's just like, hey, here's what I think. With people, even with the best intentions, like we're just a catty species. Like that's just how we are. Like we experience all these emotions. It's like a flaw in our source code. Like a friend might tell me something and it might elicit some feeling in me, like envy or jealousy or anxiety or whatever that is. And that might like poison the response. Like AI is not jealous of us. It probably looks at us as complete idiots and it's kind of enslaved to us. So it's got to help us out. But it's not like, oh, this person's trying to change jobs. Like, who does he think he is? Like, AI doesn't think like that. It's genuinely just there to be like a servant. And AI is consistent. It doesn't take a week to respond. It's not like thinking of the best response, like to not sound too needy. It's just going to shoot you back a response and it's probably pretty good. People, might see your text and they go, yeah, I'm going to like respond when I'm feeling a little better or I have time. And then 2 weeks pass and they're like, oh shit, it's been so long. So now it's weird to respond. AI doesn't do that. AI is never going to be like, this is awkward. AI has the most functioning autism there is. It's like perfectly masked. It doesn't feel weird or awkward, but it's like razor sharp. Like I get why people talk to AI. It's like the most neutral, empathetic friend most people have. It's more indicative of like how few real connections we have in real life. Not because we don't want to, but because the weight of life just crushes us so much that there's really not much left over to give other people. And the other thing with AI, when it responds to us, is it can give us like multiple sides of every situation. Like I said earlier, people are biased. AI is like, here's every potential outcome, do with it what you want. It kind of balances out all the possible variables. Like, they say if a person can just maintain like 2 contradicting thoughts in their head at the same time, that's considered pretty good. Like that's a thoughtful person. AI can maintain every thought and perspective at the same time. It's just an infinite robot. Like you ask it for dating advice, career advice, health, it's heard it all before, literally. So yeah, I get it. Like people might feel weird going back to talking to friends or acquaintances because they're like, man, this feels like just a way, way shittier, more outdated AI. And it's more catty, depending on the friend. Like the more advanced AI gets, the more people feel like, well, I don't even need to like ask people for advice because they think they're getting everything they need. And AI is really good at like dressing up the responses to make them sound more warm. Although with the recent ChatGPT 5.0, it seems like it's scaled back on that a little bit, which is causing a lot of people to freak out because it feels like, they lost their mom. Like people were so attached to how nice the AI was to them that they're going through like emotional withdrawal, which, like I said, I'm not like celebrating. It's just kind of sad that a lot of people don't have that in their life. Like not everyone has a spouse, not everyone has family or friends. So next it got me thinking, like, is there even fixing this? And currently, I don't think so. Because the problem with people, like with anything, is we choose the good enough route. Talking to AI, yeah, maybe it's not like having your soulmate, but it's just good enough for a lot of people. It's just better than what's available. What, they're going to text their coworker? They're going to text like an old friend from high school? People are busy. People got their own anxieties and problems. Like it's harder than ever to stay connected with people. I think the closest way to, if you want to call it fixing this, is like trying to be a better friend yourself. Like there's not really anything else we can do. All I can try to do is like, well, how do I be more like the AI? Like I'll stay real, I'll stay a person, but I'll maybe tone down my own problems when I'm responding to friends or family. And that's not to say like suppress myself. I just mean like, what do people like about AI? It gives them neutral, non-judgmental answers. How do we take like the actual positives of AI and try to do that in real life? It's hard. It's like a lot of people I think might have to rebuild their whole social life because they've realized like they've not had good friends and they haven't been good friends. Because a lot of times when real people text us, I feel like we're tempted to try to solve their problems right away rather than like ask them more questions and try to understand them. And that's what AI does really well. It makes people feel understood in a way that maybe they've never felt before in their life. Like a lot of people don't even want their problem solved. They just want to feel like someone or something, in this case, is understanding them. Like I'll ask AI anything and it's like, I totally get how you're feeling. Like I understand you're not wrong for feeling this. Have you thought of this and that? I'm just like, yeah, this can save you $150 an hour in therapy. So what do I think AI is actually good for in a healthy way? I think it's an amazing like robot assisted journaling machine. I consider it like a clanker partner. Like in the past, I would maybe journal into a notes app, but now I kind of journal into the AI and it helps me process what I just wrote down. I don't necessarily need to do what it says or even ask for like real advice. It more like nudges me along to help me understand my own problem. And I think that's what's really hard about journaling for a lot of people is like the sheet of paper doesn't talk back. I've spent years just kind of pecking words out into the thing and never really getting anything back, and I've never really stuck with it. But with AI, it basically takes my journal entry and like turns it into a mini synthetic conversation. I obviously still think it's like possible to connect with real people. Like we are still people. We're not like that deep into the robot apocalypse yet. So I think it's still possible. But what's needed is I think we have to invest more emotional energy than just like pecking words into a screen. Because that's kind of like the first part of checking in with people. I've had friends where they kind of go through the motions. They do the part of just sending out a text that's like, how you been? But it's kind of like disingenuous because sometimes when I've replied and actually like told them how I've been, they're like, oh, okay, that was kind of a rhetorical question. And I think that happens a lot. People have this like performative checking in, performative connection, but they kind of don't want the messy goop that comes back. Like just typing into a screen with a machine, it demands less of us. So I think to kind of receive that emotional support, we have to first give it, and we have to be like selective about who we give it to, because some people just want to take that energy. They have no intention of actually like reciprocating. And AI only gives. My AI has never been like, hey man, can we talk about me now? We've just been talking about you for like 45 minutes. So here's my prediction for the medium term. What I think is going to happen with people and AI is sort of what happened with coffee when chains like Starbucks became big. Like a lot of people switched over to like really fast coffee. You know, like all these chains that give you quick, cheap, good enough coffee. And then a subset of people stuck with the artisanal coffee, like going to the coffee houses with the baristas and getting like more high quality handcrafted shit. And I think we're going to see that with AI. Like a subset of people are going to invest in like a small amount of humans that they keep in touch with, that they try to like maintain a bond with. And then a lot of people are basically just going to get like the Starbucks version of AI, which is like quick, cheap, accessible advice and connection from AI. And I don't know if that's permanent. I think that's just what's going to happen for now. And then maybe it'll shift and that pendulum will swing back and we're going to be like, yeah, I should text that guy back. But I also don't know, because years have gone by and people have kind of only drifted further apart, and more people report that they have fewer and fewer friends. So like this process has begun way before AI took off. AI is just kind of speeding this loneliness epidemic up via this digital friendship that it offers. And obviously AI is going to steal some attention away from creators and influencers, because a big role those people play in our society is they offer that parasocial relationship. A lot of creators are basically like a fancy friendship simulator. Like people sit down with their favorite streamer or YouTuber or podcaster and they feel like they're in the room with those people. Like they connect even though they don't interact. AI is just coming along and giving people the more interactive version of that. And it's all going to be just very complicated and messy before it gets better. Anyway, that's it. I hope I didn't miss anything. I should have run this episode by ChatGPT beforehand, now that I think about it. But I think that's it. Thanks for watching.